Let's get into Cartoonist Corner. Hey, we're joined by Johannes Leek from The Australian and Mark Knight from the Herald Sun in Melbourne. Let's start with you, Mark, being a footy mad bloke and Melbourne being footy mad. I just think this is extraordinary that at a time where governments are strapped for cash, we've got budgets in deficit all around the country, and Anthony Albanese is going to kick in a couple of $100 million of taxpayers' money to build a footy stadium for Tasmania. They haven't even got a footy team there yet. You build it and they will come.
Well, that's it. You know, footy cures everything, Chris. And I think it'll be good for Tassie because you remember many years ago they built this art museum called Mona, which brought everybody to Hobart. It just set the place on fire. And I remember one of the attractions they had at this museum was, if I can say this on television, the Wall of Vaginas. Now, I don't know if they're planning an attraction like that at this new footy stadium.
That would be the umpire's room.
Yeah. Well, the team does have a map of Tassie on its jumper, so maybe a wall of map of Tassies might be the big attraction.
It's extraordinary large, yes, Johannes. Before I come to you, though, let's just show everyone what the captain of Hawthorn said about the move of a Tasmanian team. Remembering Hawthorn play games down there, home games down there at the moment, and are sponsored by Tasmania. But here's what James Sicily had to say.
Particularly as a young guy, because there's not much happening in there, that would be quite difficult. I couldn't imagine myself living there as a young fella.
Reckons you wouldn't live there, Johannes. I reckon you couldn't get a better life than living in Tasmania, playing footy around the country and going back home to a bit of peace and quiet and some good Pinot Noir.
Yep.
Mate, I completely agree. And I think it's interesting. This bloke's name is Sicily. I mean, geographically speaking, Sicily is to Italy what Tasmania is to Australia. It's the little boot at the end of this. It's the soccer ball at the end of the boot. And you know, he'd be feeling right at home there, I would have thought. But look, I think Tasmania is a magnificent place, and I've spent time down there and explored a bit. And I mean, I'd move down there in a heartbeat, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's great. Look, it's going to be great to have a Tassie team, make it a truly national competition, but they should just send Hawthorn down there. I've always thought that, and doubly so now that James Sicily has said this, send him down there as the Hawthorn Tassies, the Hawthorn Tassie Tigers. Now,
I think, Chris, I see James Sicily as the ball and the big boot of Italy as the AFL, and it's about to give him a very big boot on the backside.